Hey there, Silver-Tongued Devil here. This is my little snapshot of a campaign that I'm in the middle of. This is Fleet Admiral difficulty. We are playing Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I can say the name of it. And now you're going to see my very boring tactics of how you too can win on Fleet Admiral. Simply get lots of adamants, stack them up. So we're about a third of the way through the campaign. I've got the Viper Mark IIs on. We've just gone for normal missile systems as well. And I'll explain why I do what I do as we're playing. A lot of it is to do with the fact that I have some settings on where we have to repair our ships between battles. So it is not within our interest to take damage. That takes away from our resources, which takes away from our overall war effort. So I've always bent all of my strategy layer and tactics layer to making sure I don't take any damage. I've done this in many games like this. I think it all started when I used to play Rome Total War, and there was a mechanic in that where if you took casualties, you would have to send that unit back to a fucking settlement to replenish it, which was a pain in the arse. And the settlement had to have the barracks that was capable of making it to replenish it. What was the way of getting around that? Using units that didn't take casualties. What were they? Archers, or ranged.
On it, Commander.
And this is fairly similar. I know it's all ranged in space, but fighters are a different kind of ranged in that they're a reusable and repairable resource. It's almost like throwing drones out and taking care of the enemy. You'll see that we've got a lot of contacts, and I don't even need to worry about identifying them. What we are literally going to do here is launch squadrons and run for the black. We could also do little maneuvers where we try and put the asteroid belt or this asteroid cluster between us and the enemy. Now, unlike the Operation Anabasis mode that we were just playing, there is no... Well, there is an operational boundary, but you can actually go outside it, and this is like quite a vast distance, so we're going to swing all the way around here. When you get to the edge, you can carry on. When you get far enough, the game won't let the camera move across anymore. We don't usually have to use that much distance. I mean, it does depend. So we're going to use our fighter squadrons. One of the things that I've found is incredibly useful, because the enemy do field now, because I'm playing the campaign with it's Deadlock plus Broken Alliance DLC, which adds I always call them cestises, but they're not cestises. The anti-fighter frigates for the Cylons. And I find that if you can get low enough and underneath them, you can then come up and take them out without them inflicting a lot of casualties on you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fishtail our way away. We will probably try and let's try and use that asteroid field a little. It might stop them a few torpedoes. And we're actually, instead of just sending our fighters off to go and run into the guns of the enemy, I don't know what they have, but there's a chance that they might have some Cestus, not Cestises. Cerestus? Yeah, Cerestus. Say Cerestus. They might have some. So what we also want to make a point of doing is engaging their squadrons, but we want to stay low whilst we're doing it to avoid flak fire absolutely destroying our squadrons. Although this is looking good, they've only got one unit of fighters, which means we'll be able to tear them apart. We then have fighter superiority, which is a massive force multiplier in this game. Judging by those shots, they do not have cestises.
Yes, sir.
So let's take this out. This is probably going to be a war driver. An auto-resolve button in real life would be nice, wouldn't it? What did they bring to the party? I can't see it.
Hostile unit identified.
Oh, it's dead. Oh, I can find out what it was. What was it? War drivers? Heavy raiders. So they were going to try and board. So you'll see now, we have, I mean, they never had a check. We had fighter superiority from the start. They've brought a lot of ships, but they haven't brought any air support, or they haven't brought any fighter support. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move in such a manner and engage targets in such a manner that we can see what these contacts are. Now that we can see what that is, you remember that fleet of ours that launched all those fighters and was running for the black? Now we launch missiles. And we slowly but surely start chipping away at their fleet with a combination mainly of the fighters. And you'll see that as these are coming into the range, they're getting unveiled as well. Now, what we want to do is we want to focus on these guys, because these guys, Nemesis, they're kind of like bread and butter, frigate, corvette-y style of thing. These are the ones that have a huge Dratus range. They will make us. And if they make us, then the entire fleet can fire its complement of munitions at us. If they don't make us, they can't do that. And then even if they do make us, if they've got nothing that fires missiles, it doesn't fucking matter. So we now know that it's been a few turns and they haven't fired any torpedoes at us. The likelihood is that Nemesis might be another one in that composition. I think this fleet's mainly going to be made
Fighter
up
squadron
of Revenants,
is taking fire.
these big battleships, and yeah, again, you'll see how much we can take the piss out of them. Oh no, they do have another one. There it is. Good. So we always want to be taking out the one that's getting closest to our little flotilla, although they're very far away. This fishtailing thing is just something that I do out of habit, just in case they do have torpedoes. Now that we've made them, we can see that they have armor-piercing rockets. That those rockets are guided, and for them to shoot at us, they need to get close enough to make us on their radar, and they ain't gonna, because we're gonna do stuff like this with our fighters. Attacking from the rear is always a great shout when your fleet is being pursued, because guess what? The engines are in the rear. Once their navigation starts dropping, they start slowing down. Less chance of them making us. We'll now change targets because that guy's dead in space. And we will continue to run for the black. We can fire, if things are starting to get a little bit close, we can fire missiles with these whilst we're boosting away. But you don't fire a huge salvo, you only fire a few. So that isn't going to kill anything straight away.
Yes, sir.
So I usually avoid that. Should be able to finish this guy off. Good, he's out. They'll probably concentrate on that one. He's out too. And that there, those two ships there, any chance that they had of winning this battle is now completely kiboshed. We are going to... We'll keep on missiling that one. Now, one of the things I have found with fighters is, in this circumstance, we should be alright. We're quite far away. We're targeting something. These guys should do a nice attack run. What can happen is you attack a ship and your fighters start like circling it in some stupid manner. There is a way to get them out of that, which hopefully I won't have to show you, but it involves basically, and it's different with different craft. With this, I lined the move up with their engines and put them there. And then this will move far enough away that when I give them an attack order the next turn, they'll absolutely hammer the fuck out of the engines. But for now, we should be able to get... But that involves us using a turn to maneuver instead of attacking. We don't want to avoid that.
Understood.
And our missiles should be all ready to go on here. So we'll continue to do that. We are in boost mode at the moment. I'm changing to normal mode so we get a full salvo. When you get your attack when you're able to set your posture to higher than +6 attack, you can then increase your salvo size, so you can be firing more missiles and doing basically more DPS. Or more damage over time, I should say, not per second. But we'll...
Understood.
Whether we have it on normal or whether we have it on +5, the salvo size will be the same. When we get to +6, the salvo size will increase by 1. That'll do there.
IFF confirms unit is hostile.
Look, Kim, it'll make a great replay. Auto resolve is great, you just don't get an experience for your fighters and stuff for it. So you'll see that we're attacking from the top. Where we're attacking is where we do the damage to the armor. Their tech bays are in the top, which isn't a great target. Best place to attack a Revenant is from the front, because that's where its engineering is. Going after engineering specifically gets you kills, or kills capital ships quicker. E-ship at it. Those missiles coming in. And we're far enough away now that we don't really need to worry about boosting. Now, if this had gone horribly wrong and we'd started taking casualties on our fighters, the hardest hit ones we would send back to our carrier group to repair. And the reason being is, if our squadrons are at full strength at the end of a battle with the way that I play this, it wouldn't cost us any resources to replace those squadrons. If you take casualties, it costs resources to bring them back up to speed in the next battle, and I don't like spending money where I don't have to. So you can spend basically a little bit more time in the tactical level to save yourself money in the strategy layer. There's also another element with these rockets as well. Your ships in the campaign get experience for surviving the battle. They get experience for doing damage, and they also get experience for confirmed kills. The damage and confirmed kills isn't much, but it all adds up over time. So my fighters are now looking like they're going to do what I don't want them to do, and I'll try and demonstrate it now. So I'm not going to tell them to target, even if I did. Let's tell them to target and see what they do.
Understood.
They're already targeting that, they're already doing it, but you'll see that they start kind of like flying around a little bit willy-nilly and going back, forward, and not really concentrating their fire, although they're not doing a too bad job. I find that when that happens and they're not in that like clump of fighters, which is what you really want, give them a move order. With Revenants, I would put that move order there. The evasion on these fighters is high enough that I do not need to worry about flak. Not from these anyway, because of a combination of the... Actually, no, it doesn't even matter with these. What are they at naturally? Squadron Evaders +20, which is actually quite crap, but the ships that we are fighting are not designed to deal with fighters, hence why we have taken no damage on any of our fighters. So having done that move command on the Revenant, you'll see that we are in the perfect striking distance for taking out their engines. It's like I've done this a million times before. And taking out these guys' engines is a really good shout, because with a quite small fighter group, we can completely knock out their engines, which takes them out of the battle for several turns. If you're doing this at the same time as, you know, fighting them with a line of ships here with quite high aggression, so they've got massive distance, you can outrange them for a lot. You can I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that. If you had a massive flotilla here and you had them on high aggression, so they have huge range, taking out their engines and then being sat in this kill zone will allow me to do a lot of damage over a lot of distance without taking any return and keeping them in like a kill box for a lot longer, and you can just absolutely decimate fleets doing this. This isn't the only way I know how to play. I experiment with a lot of different fleets, but they are usually one of the same. So I like to keep things uniformed. I always have in these kind of games, and it works. So until it doesn't, i.e. Operation Anabasis, I'll keep it uniformed. And we do have some missiles, more missiles to fire. So we will, which one of these could we get a kill on with the missiles, and then we'll use the fighters to take the other one. 48, and you're almost dead. Cool. We'll fire them at him. Okay. And now that those have both been softened up, let's go and find out what this is. It's probably another one. When you get your fleets strong enough and your commanders high enough level, you can auto-resolve, because there's a lot of battles. By the end of this campaign, I'll have done probably 200 to 300 battles, plus each of the campaigns missions, of which there's like 20 odd. And then there's also random missions that crop up as well. What are you guys going for? Oh, at least
Squadron target is confirmed.
Now, one of the other things that can happen, and part of the reason why I'm still retreating and still nickel and diming it, is during the campaign, like in Operation Anabasis, enemy can FTL in. Because we haven't been made, if they do FTL in, they can't just launch missiles straight at us. It is a good idea when you have enough distance away from these, just in case, to keep your guys in a neutral stance, and to basically, I like to spin them around so that if something does come in, I'm already moving and I can react to it. You're still attacking. Keep going. And although, I mean, I don't know, I love doing this because I'm maximum destruction, kind of minimum effort, I guess.
Understood.
But we're not taking any casualties and we're not taking any damage, and that's how campaigns are won. Easily. That should be him out of the fight, and then these missiles should impact and finish that one off as well. And hopefully I'll get to show you a conflict where there's Cerestes? Oh, wasn't enough to do him. Yeah, and they're doing the silly formation, so let's attack that one instead. An auto nap button. So these, what I'm doing here are early game tactics, but they can work with these fleets all the way through the campaign. There will be awesome drugs. There will be some more interesting ones. But then another thing that's great about this game is, as kind of one-dimensional, and I don't know, I don't think it's that boring, but as kind of one-dimensional as those tactics are, it does look great in the replay. Everything looks great in the replay. You'll also see as well, everything got some damage in, and we got one confirmed kill. Now, damaging enemies and confirming kills is only worth +1 experience. The main experience is just for surviving. But we want to level our ships up because they get better stats. Let's have a look at that. Also, I charge my nose. It'll look great, I promise. It's always nice to see fighters flying about. And as I demonstrated earlier, I will be able to have all of chat named as ships, and even commanders and captains and stuff in this for the campaign, but unfortunately not Operation Anabasis. One of the things that I will check though is the other campaigns, if you can name the ships as well. So this was me doing all my nickel and diming of movement to make sure that they couldn't just fucking sweep my fighters, because I didn't know their composition at the start of this. See my fighters going down the bottom there. Revenants are very dangerous against capital ships, but they are sitting ducks for fighters. And I have the funny thing is as well, I have seen some videos and some like various live streams and bits and bobs of this game. I haven't seen anybody doing this. I wonder why. I've also seen that a lot of people kind of struggle with the fleet admiral difficulty of the campaign, and I find that I can get it under control reasonably easily. Oh, yeah, kind of easily. And then when I've got that grip on it, basically because I'm out economying the game through the tactical level, it makes the strategy level easier, which then makes the tactical level even easier. So, and the amount that I can take out with a force like this is fucking ridiculous. And then give me a bigger force and it just gets worse and worse and worse, or better and better and better. But yeah, so if you're struggling with the campaign on this, fighters, fighters, fighters. Get your guys out of there, send the fighters in. When I first started doing this, I used to use that same wall thing. I used to run away, and I used to wait for the enemy to come at me, identify me, and then fire rockets at me. And I would use my fighters to shoot down all those rockets, then send the fighters in. And then I found that, yeah, fighters are very powerful if you use them right. Hell, fighters are very powerful if you use them wrong. Sorry, K2 or what rockets? Those are missiles. I can't remember what I said. And there you go. So that's quite a big fleet of, and like, so if we'd have engaged them properly and met them with broadside or whatnot, those revenants are several class up from the adamants. We would have been able to hold our own. You can take these apart quite easily, as we've seen with concentrated firepower. But we would have definitely taken damage, and damage costs money to repair. This way, we've taken no damage, and we haven't even lost a single bloody fighter either. Granted, they didn't have the greatest of compositions, and they didn't have any fighters for dealing with our fighters. We will have some fights soon where that happens. The other thing to note as well is, the more you level up their officers, the more posturing they can do, so the wider you can swing the offensive and defensive nature of them. And they also get some other benefits as well. Like, for instance, this guy is a navigations officer, navigations officer. So he just, with the way that I've skilled him up at the moment, he is adding max distance, which is the distance that you can move. So my guys are really, really good at running away. Really good. Right. So let's see what else we've got. That's a mission that I can't do. So the other thing to note about the campaign as well, having a single ship, regardless of what it is, and a commander in it. So not commander, an officer in it. Like, why is that one not? Did I take him off? Sure I didn't. I think that's a bit of a bug. But having a single fleet in orbit round a planet fortifies it. Oh no, it is unfortified. There you go. Fortifies it, and we get the resources, Tilium, from that, and that's what we use for buying ships. Let me just pop an officer that we're not really going to use much. Yeah, you. Don't know if that'll update or not. No, 38. Why is it unfortified? Yeah, it's showing... anyway, so if you have a fleet in orbit round a habited planet, you will... a fleet, and it is... They might have made a change for that, actually. You used to have an officer. I don't know if that's the case, but I always do. If you do that, you will get the fortified amount, which is always higher than the unfortified amount by quite a magnitude. And then you basically can sit these pissy little fleets out in places, and if they do get bumped by the enemy, because there's no way I'm going to win about any fleet with one manticore, so these are basically like almost scout fortifying, and if the enemy do jump on us and bump us, we can always hit the FTL button. It'll cost us resources, but we'll have made more than we'll spend saving that manticore. And you do that as far and wide as you can get away with as you are building up your proper big fleets, like I have here. Lots of adamants. Lots of adamants. A little change, but lots of berserkers, which are basically an adamant but on steroids. And then there's our main fleet at the moment that I'm constructing. And then I've also got another adamant group over here. And then these are the ones that I'm playing with at the moment. These ones are a little bit of a different composition. Now, they have a tech officer as their commander. And because you can set a ship as a flagship, I've put them, the commanders, the tech commanders, in the corvettes, in the manticores. And the reason being is because the radius range on a manticore is the highest base ship that we can have. So they are the best scout. And then the tech officer at a certain level gets the ability to... The tech officer increases radius range naturally, and then they get an ability that increases radius range by up to 40%. The long and short of it is we can then make them before they can make us, and we can stay out of their range, so they'll never even... they'll just see blips on a radar, whereas we'll have revealed all of their ships. Once we've revealed all of their ships, we can then bombard them, and then that's where the Rangers come in, that are literally a gunboat that has a lot of missiles on. Hopefully, the Cylons will attack, and I'll get to show that tactic off. That tactic is then basically unveiling them, and then running, and then blasting them to bits. And we can usually deal... We don't have any fighter support, which is the only place that we could come a cropper with that. And then the other fleet that I've just got are these. These are the Artemises, which I don't think I showed off in the Anubis mode, but they are basically the smallest of the battle stars, but they have a complement of 2 fighters, and 3 of them with a decent officer can easily look after themselves with similar tactics to what I just showed off with the Adamants, and you can do that with the Berserkers as well. But on top of that, these can actually stand and fight, because if they get missiles shot at them, we've got flak fields to deal with that, and they have a hell of a lot of firepower on them as well. I think that's everything done. What mission is this?
Sherman Cottle contacted us as soon as Cain left Daedalus for Libran. He left us this message. Sir, one of our agents on Sagittarian has uncovered an SDU plan to attack the intercolonial courts on Libran.
We do want to be doing that.
They're planning to attack the courts while Admiral Cain is
always good. Shut up, Helen. Yeah, let's jump now and get this done. Don't even know if we can do this. This one. So let's go there with that. And then because he's going to be on this world technically fortifying it, and I can jump this one for free, so we'll trade places with that one. The jumping is how you get around. You can jump from a system to any planet within the system, or you can jump to one of these nodes, and then you can jump from that node into this system. The movement system's reasonably uncomplicated. Let's make sure nothing's damaged. Good. Cool. So no Cylon attacks. But we do have a story mission to do. Now, the story missions are the ones, so these are not procedurally generated, these are actually generated. These are the sort of ones where I might have to save scum it a bit to remember what it is and how to do it. And even if I've got the right composition to do it, is the other thing. But 3 Artemises can get a lot done. A hell of a lot done. Right, chapter 8. Which one's this one? Cool, I do not know. It did say I required a raptor. No, that was the other one. Okay, so this is an assault raptor. This is, so I was saying in the live stream about how you can use raptors to board the enemy. Assault raptors are basically a normal raptor with all of that transporting space stripped out, and they've been loaded up with guns and rockets. They also have targeting software which complements the fighters. I think an assault raptor is worth a Viper in combat efficiency, and then it adds some options for us in combat as well. However, they don't benefit, they don't have the evasion, so they're more likely to be brought down. So we have to look after them a little bit, basically.
Fleet group is jumping in 3, 2, 1.
So the first 4 chapter missions
No
of the
contact
tutorial.
And Libran channels are quiet. The
So we're only
SDU
like
aren't
4
here
in.
yet, sir. I've marked the militia's expected landing point. We've earned some time to prepare an ambush, Commander.
Okay. So this is one where we're actually not up against Cylons, we're up against Sagittarians.
Yes, Commander.
So their expected jump point is there. I want fighters waiting for them
Launching alert Vipers.
when they get there. And then I want my ships in range to be able to pump some missiles over there. So there is... I mean, more often than not, it is best to be as far away from what is going on with your capital ships or frigates or what have you as possible, as a general rule. But the further you are away, the longer it will take for these missiles to reach the ships and
Cain's
down
being
them.
grilled about the engagement at Sagittarian. Did they expect us not to defend ourselves? We were there to help them.
I'm sure the families of the Sagittarians killed are grateful for your help.
They attacked
Basically.
Colonial Fleet ships while Cylons were present.
One enemy looks the same as another on the battlefield. To the SDU, we're no different than the Cylons.
Basically, what's happening in the campaign is everybody's turning on each other because of the Cylons. Bear in mind as well, the campaign is, I believe, this is the First Cylon War that we're in. The events in Battlestar Galactica, I believe that's the Second Cylon War. Oh, no, scratch that, reverse it. It's the other way around. Oh, wait, hang on. No, what I said originally. I don't fucking know timelines, man. I just play the games. Although, interestingly, I did find out today, because I was like, Cain. Oh, that's the fucking surname of the woman that commands the Pegasus in the new Battlestar Galactica series. And then it's Lucinda Cain, who is the admiral, the rear admiral in command of this force, the Daedalus expedition or Daedalus force or what have you.
SDU
and it turns out the one that commanded the Pegasus is also, I think, Helena Cain, and that's her granddaughter. Yeah, that.
Come, sisters and brothers.
This guy's
This
prick.
is our time to shatter the alliance of Caprican tyranny.
Sherman Cottle was right. We're fighting the Cylons' rebellion for them.
Now, let's see what we can make. Oh, we've got a bit close there. Thought we'd have more time than that.
Yes, Commander.
Unfortunately, I can't change the music as well. Some of the music's good in this. Others is crap. In the... Oh, not crap. Just, yeah, not as upbeat. Not as Battlestar-y. Can't change the music on the campaign missions. Yeah, we haven't done very
Hostile
well there.
unit
We're way too
identified.
close.
Missiles incoming! Hostile unit identified.
Oh dear. I don't remember this mission. Right. Let's bring up that flak barrage. So this one's going to end up... I didn't want it to. But this one's going to end up a little bit more of a straight-up fight. They don't have any fighter support, you fucking idiots. What are you doing? Right, cool. In that case then, let's start taking your guys down. What's most dangerous here? Probably those. But they're going to take some doing. Let's take the Manticores down.
Yes, sir.
So they basically have it's the same ships as us. We're not fighting the Cylons, we're fighting other Colonials. Probably I'm going to be in range of that. Let's make sure that flak field defeats all of this. Probably be able to dodge some of it.
Yes, Commander.
Just in case, if we do take any damage, we're good. And then that's there. And then what these assault raptors can do, I've targeted the assault raptors can, not only can they paint a target in range, which increases accuracy for squadrons and capital ship shots on that painted target, they can also fire a little salvo. And every time you take them back and land them and take them off again, you get replened these short-ranged missiles for free. They do a bit of damage. It's worthwhile. Why is he... I don't know. You go after that. You go after... Oh, it's because I've got it on a move command. Let me see. Cool. Right, that flak field should go up and devastate most of that torpedo barrage. We're probably, because we've got close enough now, we're probably going to have to just basically keep that up to avoid taking lots of damage. They've got a lot of torpedoes and missiles. But once again, we have fighter superiority. What's that? Don't know where that came from. Kill it. That. We can probably... So what we'll do is we'll collapse the flak field of the ship in the middle. So then the flak field of the other two will defend our flotilla. This is another reason why I stack. What that then does is allows me to put him into an attack posture and actually get some shots off. We won't be able to fire missiles through our flak, because flak destroys missiles. But we will at least be able to get some decent range and some decent shots on some of these guys. This guy flanking I don't like.
I've got 3 upper 7. Targeted.
Solution updated. Target acquisition maintained.
Missiles incoming!
And they're just gonna, basically they've got enough to just continually pelt us with
So say we all.
torps and missiles. You'll see that I'm not just moving across as well. I'm moving further away from them and kind of drawing them towards me. And what that does is as they're starting to come in on us, it puts them all in a bit of a conga line for us, and it then means that their missiles will come into here. If I kept on moving in like across them like this, they will turn to face, but then some will try and get round our flanks, and then, yeah, our flak barrage does nothing. Right, have you defeated those vipers? You have. Right, let's start taking some of the pressure off this Battlestar by getting rid of some of these mantises, because they're the manticores, because they're the fast movers. Target. Yeah, keep going after. No, but you're not in range. Okay, fine. Go after this one. So 2 of these Battlestars, because they have this flak up, they won't be firing their side guns at this. They'll just be firing the spine battle cannons, because these cannons on the side are busy creating this flak field, destroying all the torpedoes and missiles. So basically putting a flak field up reduces our amount of outgoing fire, but obviously offers us protection against missiles and torpedoes, unless they fucking flank. Got some of them though. Oh, good.
Sir, large Stratus contact. Unless they found themselves an abandoned Battlestar, I don't think it belongs to the SDU.
Humans killing humans. This is unexpected.
Cylon voice modulator. Sophisticated, too. Most likely transmitting from the bridge of a base star.
Commander,
base star?
The bogey has the drop on the fleet group's position.
I can take one of those.
Whoever it is, they've left their broadcast channel open.
So this is actually the first contact we've had with the Cylons.
Understood.
Campaign.
Yes, Commander.
Here a little bit. Fighters, are you still doing the good job? What are you doing? Oh, you're still after that. Cool. Right, short-range missiles on that. Might even... Probably won't kill it. Keep doing what you're doing. Yep. Everything's looking... okay-ish. But yeah, note how we cannot afford to drop our flak. If we do, we'll get absolutely mullered by all of these rockets and missiles that are coming in. But the fighters are doing work.
Firing on target. Target locked and watch the clearance.
And if angled correctly,
It becomes
that's,
evident
they
that
won't
you
get
are
through that
nothing more
flank.
than
They're
Kane's
still
knife
hitting
error,
us
Commander.
with
Ever
shot.
eager to act outside the legalities of warfare.
We are Colonial Fleet. We represent the highest military authority of the collected colonies.
Yet here you are, supervising the murder of Sagittarian civilians. The executioner's face is always well hidden. Admiral Cain understands what is required for her continued survival. Do you?
Mushroomy. Right. So, that's got rid of that flanker. What else can we take? So these are adamants. They launched their fighters. They have. Wow, we've destroyed them all already. I think. Let's see if we can tear that apart next. I think you've got that by yourself, haven't you? It's going to take a while, but actually, you can help. To do that, we need to bring them around a little bit. And then fighter support, take that out.
Understood.
Get rid of that thorn in my side. You got any missiles left? No. I would send them back to restock, but with that flak barrage there, well, actually, no. I know that that now works as intended. But that
Missiles
should.
incoming.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it. They're pissing about, yeah. Still getting closer. We're still under enough pressure that we can't really drop this flak right now. So the only thing we can do is keep whittling away at their stuff. Just fire on that, and you guys paint this, which will then increase accuracy for everything on it. Should bring it down faster.
Artemis is taking damage.
So if I wasn't under as much pressure as I am to repel all of these missiles, at this point, now that armor is down, I would like to turn away. As soon as you hear that something is taking damage, make sure you are repairing whatever it is that is damaging. Some systems don't matter, but in this circumstance, the hangar system does matter because it's keeping our fighters nice and evasive. We're starting to deal with the pressure. So again, whilst this flak field's been up, I haven't been able to fire a single missile, which would have really chunked some damage into them. So what we'll do here is we will drop.
Understood.
This is where we're going to have to break formation a little bit, and we will put them into defensive mode, and we're going to turn away. Should have had a read on this and done it before you start taking subsystem damage, but we'll be all right. To be fair, I've got to the point now in the campaign where I don't think money matters that much, but good tactics are good tactics. I'll sort that rest of that out. What would you take out? There's only 2 adamants left. It's that that's doing all of the work for them, or keeping me pinned, rather. Paint. So we'll turn you away and cancel your flak field. And then we will get you to put a flak field up in defensive mode, and then you at the bottom cancel your flak. You go on the offense now because they haven't taken any damage, and then all of you focus fire on something. Yes, that one. Lovely. So now we're going to turn away and
Artemis
basically
is taking damage.
Hide our unarmored side. And then when we fully turned, I'll set a flak field up for her again. I didn't fucking cancel the flak field, idiot. So we go there and there. Now, we are actually alright on our left-hand side, so we can probably cancel flak completely and start opening up with this one.
Yes, Commander.
And because we're away from the flak field, we can actually... Oh, hang on. Got missiles coming in. What's that flak field? You didn't do what I told you. You're firing at that. Okay, change plan. Cancel target, flak on the right, left-hand side. Back to defensive. Right, they're concentrating on the wounded. So that gives us time. What we like on health, these two. Good. And not so great. Probably get some missiles off here as well. Let's pump them into... We're going to go down reasonably fast. Let's pump into that. And then focus fire on that adamant as well. Now, what are you going for? No. We're going to dodge that anyway. It's fine. Cool.
Missiles incoming! Artemis is taking damage.
A lot's going towards what is set up with the flak field.
Yes,
so
Commander.
We're happy with that. Someone else is now taking damage, so let's get that on the repair, and then we pull off with them as well and put them into defensive mode whilst we're on the turn. You continue to attack. You guys all still attacking somebody? Yeah.
Squadron target is confirmed.
Armory. It's a shame. You ready to fire again? Not yet. So this is what I was talking about earlier as well. If you click on a ship, you can see how many turns they have until they're firing. So we know that we don't need to have, if he is going to fire at these, we know we don't need to have a flak field up for this turn. But we'll need it as soon as these are lit up. They are then ready to fire. Cool.
Artemis is taking damage.
There goes their ranger. There goes their adamant. You carry on doing what you're doing there. You're out of it. I can't even reach that one. Okay, fine. You guys go after that one.
Squadron target is confirmed.
You're about facing. You're in defensive. There's not a lot more I can do about that.
On it, Commander.
Good, good, good. You're not under threat anymore. No, you're still repairing. Cancel your flak field. Just in case anything else happens with this mission. And let's just make sure everyone is focused on that. And then the fighters deal with the other one. That's gone. Ah, I should have moved him. Well, that's damage I didn't have to take. If I'd have dipped him or raised him, those would have probably missed. Paint target. Focus fire. And a lot of you, for those of you who have got them left, fire them off.
Artemis is taking damage.
So because they were in defensive mode, so note how they fired 3 instead of 4. And that's just how the game works when you're in attack. You're attacking defenses.
Missile tubes
Depends
prepped.
how many you fire off in a salvo. You've got a turn before you're ready to go again. Fighters should sweep in and do some damage. You're painting. Good. Okay. I should turn with this to avoid taking hull damage or more hull damage. This thing is almost out of it. Down. Hi, Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn, you survived until last. What was her name? What was the name of the ship again? The Valkyrie, wasn't it? The Valkyrie?
SDU marks are down, and the Cylon broadcaster is no longer in range.
I can't remember.
Fleet group set to condition 2.
Hey, Dredd.
Surely this proves we're not the bad guys here.
Cindy is resourceful. She'll come out of the hearings in a better position than when she went in.
Gods, I hope so. We can't have anyone thinking that we could.
But yeah, I couldn't name the. Well, I couldn't name. You'll have to go back and watch. The last bit was quite good. I managed to FTL our entire fleet on the very first jump with a different fleet, and for some reason Chris decided to stay behind, and then on the mission that most of you bought it, he came in and made a bit of a sacrificial play. It was quite funny. Oh, Shanty and Grissom managed to crash into each other as well. That was great. One rammed Shanty and pinballed into Grissom, so they both blew up quick sharp. That might be quite a good one to watch, actually. cool. Yeah, like it does look. I will say it does look good. I need to watch some more of it. But I've got I don't know, man. I've got all of these VR games to play. I've got a building list of like campaigns and fucking like games that I need to play that are like just strategy games, and I've got to cut something out. Gotta cut something out. So, doing this mission, we shouldn't have been as close to the ambush point as we were. Should have been a lot further away. We could have let our fighters do a hell of a lot of this, and it wouldn't have had our Artemises pinned down for the entire battle, which then meant they could have fired their missile support in and just could have done this in about 6 turns as opposed to the 20 turns that it took.
Fire at will. Firing on target. Keep your target
Start.
locked and watch for clearance.
I'm sure I've you're not supposed to, but I'm pretty sure I've destroyed that before. Or, no, you can't destroy it. If you get close to it, it jumps out. I've tried. Oh, I've tried. Yeah, this is my camera work. This is all me, by the way. It's all, like, look at these camera angles that I'm managing to totally not auto cinematic cam. They really have done a really good job of the replay system of this. It patches it together so well. I've played other turn-based games, but it's because of the WeGo system, because it is in essence an RTS that just pauses in increments but then calls it a turn. Because of the system, it all flows really nice together. I just wish there was more games out there that do this. The makers of this game, Black Lab Studios or Black Lab something, I can't remember who it is, they've done another game as well called Starhammer Vanguard, and it's the first time they used this, what's called the WeGo system. And I looked at it and I've basically been told, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't have any depth. It doesn't have the depth that Battlestar Galactica has. So, and it's like an older game now as well. It looks alright though, it looks good. It's not as impressive looking as this one. But yeah, like as we've seen earlier, some of the most unimpressive batches of turns that I've done, you put them in that, like, you know, that battle was reasonably good, but it looks great in the replay. It looked alright when I was playing it, but all of them look great in the replay. And then if you have a particularly good battle, they look amazing in the replay. But there's also a bit of an RNG to the replay as well, because every time I hit that replay, the camera would do different shots and from different angles and center on different things. Like, it'll center on some main things, but then the rest of it is up for debate on it. Yeah, dismemberment. Yeah, I thought the system for Stainblade was great. I don't think they needed to add anything to it, or maybe add to it in future updates.
Cylon forces
but
have been interfering with travelers between the colonies.
Yep. So these are the random missions
present,
that pop up. These are not story-related ones. The ones with that on are the Broken Alliance missions, and then the ones with the orange on are the main story missions. And they're how you progress
armed
the
forces
campaign.
have tried to run a sabotage op without coordinating with us first. From what I can gather,
some of
about
these
it
are
has
just
gone
straight
sideways.
up kill the enemy.
We don't know how
Others,
many
there
of their
are objectives or things
successfully
to
hit,
capture.
But
Or
the saboteur team needs
something.
extraction support immediately.
Yeah, the neck hit. Indeed. Yeah, I don't know how well dismemberment will work in that game. I'm a bit out on whether that it's. I don't think it's needed.
Unsurprisingly, Sherman Cottle contacted us as soon as Cain left Daedalus for Libran. He left.
Shh. Wanted to show off a different squadron. What have we got? They're all over here. Cool. Another thing to note on this as well, save after every battle, save at the beginning, just before you hit the end turn. There is no auto save on this game. And I've had it where I've had like 6 or 7 battles, and the last one, something's happened in it which completely fucked me over. You've got to go all the way back to that first battle, do them all again to have a re-go. There not being a retry button on this, even in the easier modes, is a bit of an oversight, I think. Because that's what you're going to do. You're just going to reload and try it again. So, but maybe not when I'm streaming. Maybe that'll be the little jump in difficulty. No save scumming ever. What have we got on the building here? Some Artemises, another squadron of Artemises. Cool, yeah, well, everything's going well. We've got multiple planets defended and fortified. We're making plenty of money each and every turn. Well, the equivalent of money each and every turn. Yeah. I don't need to move, you move. Is that habited? And the other thing to note as well with the strategy layer, you only need to defend the habited planets. You gain nothing from, say, defending whatever this one is. Phoebe. Phoebe? 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 Is that Phoebe? Phoebe? Phoebe. Get nothing from doing that. There's no one there. They don't care. The rocks aren't going to fucking pay us. Yeah, I'll wait another turn. The other thing with this campaign that is good and bad is, other than the side missions, there is no time pressure.
Detected a Cylon escort fleet, sir.
Oh, okay. So this is what I was talking about. My daughter, I've named as the commander of this one, because she was watching me. She taps away on my other keyboard and pretends that she's on the bridge and that she's my sub-officer and whatnot. So I said, like, okay, well, I'll give you a name, and she went absolutely nuts, and we named her a ship as well. So this is why I know that I can rename all of this, and we can have a good laugh with this campaign, and I'll name you all up, and it'll be great. Right, so this might actually be
a fortified colony is under attack.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 berserkers. So they are no ordnance, just fighter carriers, but they do have very long-range guns. But they are literally made out of paper mache. If they get into engagement where they're outranging the enemy, they're fucked. But they give huge bonuses to the evasion of fighters, which makes the fighters very, very, very tanky. So you might be thinking, what's going to change tactics here? Nothing. But we might have to be a little bit more careful. Yeah, remind me, Dread, did you even get to play Stained Blade in the end? I can't remember. I know I tried to get you access, and I don't know if you ever got round to it or ever got the... I don't even remember. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They almost double us in points value. I do actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these berserkers, all nicely stacked as per normal. The other thing to note as well is start as far away from their Drader splits as you can. The last thing you want with this tactic is for them to make you and you not have them made. You want to be as far away from that nonsense as possible. The fighters will do the work. Hello, Faye. How are we doing? So, we turn tail.
On it, Commander.
And we run. But we launch fighters.
Launching fighters.
So yeah, these berserkers, all guns, made out of paper mache. They're... So a combination of, I have a commander who has a huge hangar subsistence bonus, and she also gives bonuses to the squadrons on her ship, on what is the flagship. Greytooth. That's my daughter, apparently. And
Launching alert Vipers.
What those bonuses all add up to, and the fact that fighters on the Berserkers have a huge evasion or decent evasion already, adds up to a 78, a plus 78 to squadron evade. I think that means that for things that are targeted at them, there is a 78% chance that they'll miss. What it adds up to is ridiculously tanky fighters. But we still do need to be careful, because that is a big fleet, and I don't know how much fighter support they have. So again, we're going to move our fighters down. We're going to get our Berserkers away. The other thing to note with these bigger fleets is there is a chance that they will have the ships that can do skips. If they skip close to us, they'll make us, and then there will be a barrage coming in hot, and these can't do anything about it other than run. There are things that we can do to counter that. Well, not counter that, survive it. Now, you will also see that they have a lot more in the ways of fighter support now. So, ideally, we want the fighter engagement to happen here, between their fleet and our fleet. I don't want them too close, because if they slip through the net, they'll make us, and then missile hell will ensue. I don't want to be too close to their fleet, because then they will add their supporting fire to these fighters. As good as our evasion is, we will take casualties here. Plus, I also don't know what they are yet. These could be full of torpedoes and missiles and all sorts of nasty, and don't want to be in shot of the ships. Thank you very much. The other thing that we can do, and these are actually really good at, and I can also push their posture up to +6, which gives their turrets quite the range. Wait. Oh. That, and then that, and then that. It gives them a range of 6,500. If I could get the fighter, the dog pile of fighting happening here between all of the fighters, and those are in range but they couldn't spot us, we can support our fighters with some really good, really accurate fire. But I don't think they're going to need it, and we'll find out in just a moment.
Understood.
Now, another thing to note, and another reason why I bring my fighters down, these blips are fighters or very small corvettes, either the raiders that board us or the raiders that are fighters. If we bring our fighters low and these start coming towards us, I can guarantee you that these ones that are pointing down to come and intercept us are fighters. I can also tell you that this one will be going for our capital ships. Why? Because it wants to board us. So this is one of the things that has borders on it. We need to make sure that we take out this, but that this doesn't slip through the net. And the way we're going to do that, hopefully, is by assigning, and I find I've played around with the best tactics as far as fighters are concerned, and I found that you are best off dogpiling individual targets to begin with. So let's see how that works out. So we have got 7 of our squadrons on 5 of those, but we've tore one apart with no casualties, and now they're going after this. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. Where do you think you're going? Oh, okay, well, yep. Forget my tactics, I was wrong about that one.
Confirmed.
Because that is not a border, those are prototype squadrons, but he's acting like a border. So, I don't want this guy slipping the net. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to make us. Once he identifies those ships and changes them from, for them, blips to ships, that if there's any missile ships here, they will absolutely barrage us. We don't want that, and the way that we're going to stop that is we're going to assign one fighter to that and let the rest fight the good fight here. Hang on, let's do that to that, and then we'll take the closest squadron to go after you. Now, note as well, I'm not sort of like... In these kind of games, what I'd normally do is I'd be like, right, we want a 2-to-1 advantage, pair 2 squadrons on 1 squadron. Superior numbers, and we do technically have better fighters as well. In this game, though, I found that if you dog ball your fighters and attack 1, you will destroy it quicker than they will go after individual squadrons, but you will destroy them quicker than they can destroy you. So yeah. And then this guy is just going to get absolutely torn apart, I think.
I've got 4 or 5 upper 6. I'm targeting.
And because of this huge evasion, we have barely lost anything, and we've almost killed them all. Why are you going after that as well? I did not tell you to do that. Carry on helping down there. Oh, actually, hang on. Are you... No, you're not. So, another thing that I found with fight squadrons... I don't really need to do it now. You should kill that, shouldn't you? Oops. Hopefully so, but that's weak enough now that we'll be able to finish it off with the guns from the Berserkers, but we do want to keep on running. So one of the other things I found as well is sometimes they do power off and go after individual fighters. What they're doing here is they're dogpiling one of my squadrons. I will recall that squadron. These squadrons will then all chase this squadron, and then my ones will follow that conga line. And as they're trying to destroy my retreating one, my ones will absolutely tear apart the rest of theirs. So let's just do that on that one. Okay. Recall you, and then you also need to be attacking that, and you can go after that as well. So they've still got 1, 2, 3, well, and a bit squadrons. That should be good though. So they do have missile boats here, and we want to be taking them out first. Cool. No one's slipping the net today. And note how these guys are now single-mindedly pursuing this squadron of Vipers. And we're just lining up behind them and tearing them to pieces. And this is how you get fighter superiority, even when you're outnumbered, doing little things like this. The other thing as well is we want to recall this squadron. As long as it doesn't die and we can get it boarded back on the ship that it came from, it can be repaired back up to full health. It could then be relaunched to re-engage, but it also saves us money in repairs. I don't know why, it just does. So understood. I'm not going to question it. It saves me money, and out economy in games like this is always a good thing. Now, once we have won fighter superiority here, cool, that's them done. My boys are going after what I want them to, which is the missile ships. So it is very important, as I keep saying, that we don't get made. We have identified them, except these ones back here, they're still blips. We, to them, are still blips. They cannot fire huge volleys of guided missiles at us because they cannot get a target lock on us because they haven't identified us yet. So we want to keep it that way, and also, just in case it all goes fucking wrong, i.e. they've got a ship that can fucking teleport close and make us, or something warps in and makes us, giving these guys their target lock, we want to, now that we've dealt with all of the fighters, prioritize the things that could hurt us if we got made, which is this guy and this guy. You can see they've got missiles there. I don't know what these are. We'll find out soon. I'd rather get rid of the next threats to us now.
IFF confirms unit is hostile.
And as you can see, as we're doing that anyway, things are straying into our radius range of our fighters and getting picked up anyhow. What are you looking like? So my fighters are now fucking about and doing that thing that I told you where they kind of do tiny little attack runs and barely get any damage done. the way that we can correct that is we do issue a move order. Now, with these, what is on their rear? On their bottom? I still don't know. It's not anything good. Okay, so we're going to move the squadron. I think with these, they're a little faster, so we want to put it about there. They are going to go after this. Bloody hell, we only just missed that fucking asteroid. Well, that would have been disastrous, wouldn't it? Yeah, run into the black, straight into a fucking asteroid. Now, make sure those are on a recall order. Oh, they've rejoined the fight. Of course they have, because I targeted them all. I reckon we can go after that one. So, because these guys are all messing around, swirling around this and not really doing a proper attack run, target either move them to somewhere, but ideally target something further away so that they form up and do a proper attack run. Like...
Yes, sir.
This. You were supposed to be going home. Ah, there you go. So their engineering is on their bottom. So as we were talking about, after you take armor plating away from a specific section, you then damage the section that's underneath it. Going after engineering with fighters is really good, because engineering, when that's zeroed, A, stops them repairing anything else anywhere near as fast, and they usually concentrate on trying to repair engineering, and it goes really slowly because you need good engineering to repair fast. And on top of that as well, destroying their engineering reduces their damage reduction, which results in a faster kill. And we like fast kills. Yes. Keep moving these guys. Make sure you're still recalled. Carry on attacking. Yes. So knowing that about, because I didn't remember with the I always used to call them Arcani, but they're not. Arcani. What a shit sounding name. So what we're going to do here, I don't want these guys attacking them on the left. What I ideally want is I want them to attack this one from below. Now, because these guys are a bit faster, probably want to put that about there, and then about in line with where this is. And that's so that they don't get too low that they can do an attack run. Even though it's turn-based, they can still do more or less in a turn, depending on how close they are to something. If I've got them all the way down here, by the time they've flown up, the turn's almost ended, and they won't fire many shots off. If I manage to fly them up and they're already close, they'll engage and get a lot of damage done during the turn. So let's move them down. The other thing to note as well, even when the fighters are static, their evasion still works. You know, they're taking fire here, but they're not being shot or they're not being hit because they've got too high evasion. So now we can go for this guy. That might have been a bit too low, but keep running. What we also need to be careful of as well is if any of these are fast movers, we need to take them out before they can get in range. So this guy's starting to break away from the pack. So we might deal with him soon. In the bottom goes, the engineering goes, and then their hull absolutely disintegrates quite quickly. Lovely. We'll let him carry on. Going for these specific sections can be the difference between taking something out in 2 turns or taking it out in 4. And when time is not on your side, because anything could happen here, things could jump in, things could come around and identify us and start really blasting us to bits over long range, and we don't want that. So we want to kill them as quickly as possible. Plus, we've got a lot of battles to do, so we want to get them done as quick as possible as well. Let's pretend that he's going to get close and get him dealt with next. And And then at that point, I think we're pretty much done. I mean, it would... Something could jump in, and these guys could. They've still got 3 lots of missiles, and these fire quite rapidly. And there's nothing that I could do about it other than try and intercept the missiles whilst they're being launched. Which I could do. Oh, for fuck's sake. They can't help themselves. They have to fight. They want to. So what I'm doing here is if you tap on one fighter and double tap on it, it'll select all. And then I'm selecting an attack order. What you should do is recall those fighters and then just grab the group. And do it that way. And then that way you won't give an attack order to a fighter that you want to recall. And that's their engines out. Cool, done. So there, I can see the fighters are now messing about and they're not actually doing proper attack runs. So we'll select the group, we'll move them to, let's go for, can they all reach? Probably that one, and we'll go about there. To work out the distances. It's been a while since I've taken on Arcney. Cool. And then you go for that. Keep moving.
On it, Commander.
Yeah, you are. Why are you moving slower than everybody else? Out of formation. Go to that. They're still on. The other thing I usually do as well when I remember is just keep on giving them the recall order just in case, and do that last just in case I've ordered the squadron to attack something again. I should melt their rear armor, their bottom armor and engineering. Which also, when you take engineering out, it also helps you melt other sections, and then that destroys other subsystems as well, so everything goes down quicker. Like, we don't want them attacking the right and left. That won't do much for us. This guy's got the right idea. The other one as well to go for, whilst all of this is happening, say your fleet wasn't quite as fast, attacking engines and bouncing between the closest to you, and then bouncing back down the lane and then bouncing back up again. And that can slow their entire fleet movement down. So even if you are a little slower than they are, they can never catch you.
On it, Commander.
Which is what we want. As I said, sometimes they do a good job of doing strafing runs. Other times, like, those runs aren't too bad. But you can see that they're spreading the damage across multiple sections and not really concentrating on anything. So in that situation, I would forego a turn. I reckon it's about there. And we want to be about there. Probably a bit too low, but I would forego a turn, group them up, and then attack. You'll kill things a lot quicker doing it that way than just letting them like, I used to think that fighters weren't very good in this because they kept on doing this kind of like swirling motion where you can give them an attack order and they'll do what they want. If you line them up right, they're devastating. So that's got 69 hull left and full subsystems other than hangar. And they've started attacking immediately at the beginning of the turn. Engineering melted, HP melted, dead. And now we've just got 3 of these fat boys, which are never going to catch us anyway, so let's finish this one off, who's half dead already. Now, the other thing to note here is we've put a lot of distance between them, and the fighters that are now berthed back at home, the damaged ones, are starting to repair. We can increase that process by putting our, well, the ship in question to defensive. And what that does is that raises the squadron repair. So I think the way it works is 100% repairs 1 HP per turn. So 130%, 1.3. So we're getting 1 extra hull point repair per 3 turns we do this. And if we, as long as we can get that to show 8 out of 8, we can end this mission and we won't spend a dime. Cool, you're done. This one.
Understood.
Good. Good, 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 good. So what do you reckon then, Von? You going to play this one? Going to give it a whirl? It has got a versus mode. I could play as the Cylons and you could be the Colonials, or the other way around, and we could fight each other. There's also, actually, Von, there's a cooperative mode on this.
Yes, sir.
I could teach you live. But you wouldn't be able to do whatever you want to do, Von. You'd have to listen to me. Nah, you could do whatever you wanted to do. It'd only be... I think... I'll have a look at that in a minute. I've never played this multiplayer. And I've never played the... I don't even know how the cooperative mode works.
Yes, Commander.
So, do note, whilst we're in this defensive stance and repairing him, these guys, even though we did have quite a bit distance between them, they are catching up. So what we want to do is switch between boosting and defending. So let's boost another turn just to make sure we've got some distance between us and them. As we start, after we've taken this out, we'll whittle this guy's engines down and then we can just stay in defensive mode. Cool, he's gone. And again, note how these Revenants are firing a huge amount of fire out, but the fire that they're the shots that they're firing are not, or the cannons that they have are not designed to deal with fighters. They're slow and heavy damaging. They're never going to hit us. And then I suppose it's worth noting, like, oh, well, okay, it's all well and good you showing us these tactics, but how did you get to this point? Well, remember, earlier in the campaign, the fleets that you're up against are a lot easier to deal with, a lot smaller, and nowhere near as advanced in ship type and size. So it's the same tactic, but just on a smaller scale.
So say we all.
Nope, we're damaging engines. We should be okay. The last thing you want to do, though, whilst you're trying to nickel and dime the repair on your fighters, is let them get close enough to do a bit of damage, because then that's just costing you money that you thought you'd saved by repairing your fighters. But we should take this guy's engines out now. Rear's gone. Engine's gone. He's now just floating forward a little bit. Almost dead. Now that his engines are taken out, we'll go for somebody else. Let's go for this guy. They will repair as well, and because their engineering section is good, they will repair those engines quite quickly. But as they start doing that, we go in for another attack run.
Yes, sir.
Let's boost a little bit. Again,
so say we all.
It always looks a lot closer than it is, but that's probably about 10,000, whatever the distance is in this MU, I think it is, or something like that. So that's the close one dealt with. And now these guys are trying to turn to match my fleet. Let's take this guy's engines out now. And back to defensive stance. And as soon as that reads 8, we can stop being in defensive stance and we can just boost away to safety. And there we go, there's the 8. What we might have to do as well is, let's say for instance, I was just getting ready to assault the last one of these and we weren't completed on the repairs. Well, in that case, you send, say, half of your squadron just on a move order and then the other half to attack the engines, so that you are doing damage and whittling down a little bit but not destroying them, giving us extra turns to do the repairs and get those fighters rebuilt, saving us money. It probably saves us, what is it, per fighter, like 8 or 10, but considering that was missing 5 fighters, that saved us 24, 30 currency. But multiply that across 300 or 400 fights, that's a battle group's worth of battle stars.
Understood.
Across the campaign. So yeah, we're at 8 of 8. So we could launch that fighter squadron. They're not actually back to the full 34 either. They'll be on about 31 or 32. But as long as it's reading that there are 8 fighters, then we won't pay anything when we go into the next one because nothing will need repairing or replacing. Like even these ones are messing around a little bit. They're not grouping up on and attacking the same compartment, hence why there's being damage spread around a load of sections. And we don't want that because you have to go through the armor to get to the hull. If the armor's already down at some point, keep fucking shooting that. And there we go, that's all she wrote. All that lovely space wreckage that we've left behind as well. It's another thing that I love about this game. That's everything. All that up there is all of the wreckage of the ship that we've destroyed up until this point. Cool, I'm going to charge my mouse, and you can watch how boring that turn that was in an instant replay. Hopefully there'll be somebody be like, oh my god, you just used the same ships and the same fighters. What about fleet composition? I could have a really good conversation with somebody.
Every single one of our pilots comes home today. Understand?
It's the same thing with games like Warhammer Total War, and even like as far back as Rome and Shogun and many like strategy and RTS and turn-based games. Anything that relies on like a strategy layer and you having to build army compositions, it's like, well, you want them to survive and you want them to be as effective as possible, and you want them to be as less a drain on your resources as possible. And you also want them easy to use and easy to command and win with, because winning is how getting campaigns completed and finished is done. Like, you know, oh yeah, my Battlestar group is made up of this and that and the other. It's like, that sounds very complex, dude. Just get a load of fighters. That'll do the job. The thing is, as well, this tactic will pretty much work out against anything, but then when you come up against some of the late game stuff, there are some nuances that you have to use and change to make it effective against that. Basically, you have to use your late game, you will have things that will have flak, and then you remember what I said about making the dog ball between the two fleets so that you don't get anyone slipping through and unveiling your fleet, and you also don't fight too close to their fleet that will then give them supporting fire. Not that they would hit us with these fighters, but still, you play the tactics. Late game, we would want that mothball closer to our ships so that they can support. Even if they do get made, they can cover themselves with flak, and then they can put up a wall of flak, move away. When the missiles come in, turn, put up another wall of flak, and you move away slower, but you can move away. and then you can absolutely destroy their fighter support. And at that point as well, you would have a lot more fighters. Like, that's 1 per vessel. You could have several of those vessels with 2 squadrons in, so that's 14 squadrons. Take out all their squadrons. See how quickly we're putting down these Arachnes and these Revenants, like in a turn and a half or 2. With 14 squadrons, well, you can definitely take 1 out in a turn, and if you group those 2 squadrons off, you can be taken out 2 a turn. Or you can have 1 squadron concentrating on engines of fast runners, and the other ones just starting to whittle them down. So the tactics change and evolve as you play. But most importantly, they work. And also keeping everything as a stack just means that you don't get any fucking stragglers, you don't get anybody moving off, you know where everyone's going, and then they all give supporting and overlapping fire to each other if they do get bumped. One of the things that happens if you were to, that wall, if you were to like spread it off, all of the enemies will follow 1, and fighters will go after 1, and then your fleet can be taken apart piecemeal, whereas by putting it all together, you multiply the force, you make every engagement, like in this circumstance, as far as carriers, a 7v1, as opposed to multiple 1v1s, or worse, them having their entire squad and squadrons and capitals concentrating on 1 of your ships. We don't want that. And again, I must have done this a million times, and I still find it satisfying. There's something about, like, they've got double the fleet points that I have, and they've been absolutely torn to pieces systematically, and no losses or cost on our side. And I'm sure this isn't new either, but it's also the same as why I love carriers and fighter, especially if they're useful and powerful in these kind of games, and I love things that are able to make units in general. That's why I love necromancers. Summon a load of skeletons, send them in, let them do the damage and whatnot. No damage to me, and everybody dead. Necromancers. But similar sort of concept, I guess. The ships are my zombies and skeletons. As Doc was asking earlier, we'll probably do the Chaos Gate campaign first, because on the hard mode, I did find once I got it under control, it was okay, but there was also me doing a lot of experimenting in Chaos Gate. I think the legendary mode in that is going to be beyond me. Looks quite tough. So... and there shall probably be no pissing about with, like, really cool units that just aren't effective. And that is one of the things that I don't like about these kind of games, where it's like, you kind of have to use this unit this way because otherwise it's inefficient, or you'll get fucking wrecked if you do it another way. One of the things that I've found with Battlestar is this tactic is the most effective and works the best, but there are others that do work almost as well. And what I've found from doing multiple campaigns of this game, because it can get a bit boring doing the same thing over and over again, is having lots of different fleet compositions that are different, so that you can employ different tactics in different battles. It just keeps it a bit varied as you're winning. A little bit of variety whilst you're winning is always a good thing. if I don't know if anybody's still watching or not. If you are, remind me when we get to the end to have a look at this cooperative mode, or how co-op works. I'll finish this up and then I'll go and have a quick look at that, because I could get Grizzin in here with me, couldn't I? Yeah, even if Von doesn't like it, I can make Grizzin like it. Ooh, 1v1s with Grizzin. I'll play as the Cylons. By your fucking command. Right. So, our Daedalus, this is our builder, has just built us another little flotilla's worth of Artemises. We'll transfer that one into there. We now need a commander that's got... So, one of the ways that the game limits you so that you can't just make huge... So, you're limited to 7 vessels of any class or size per flotilla, group, fleet, whatever you want to call it. Fleet. Let's use fleet. Oh, that's a point. Can you rename the fleets? Oh, you can rename the fleets. Excellent. Oh, this campaign's going to be great when I eventually get it underway. Right, so the way that the game limits you from just growing straight, doing well like this economically, and then just freaking getting loads and loads, is 7 per thing. The other thing is there's a command limit. So, for instance, a normal fleet can only have 4,000 in it. I think it is. It's been a while. 4,000 in it, whether it has an officer on it or not. As you level up your officers, you can increase your fleet cap. The way the game used to work, and I've been told recently, or I read recently that this has changed, is that the Cylons group size, like the forces that they field, are based on your highest. So the way that I used to play this is you have, and again, works within the tactic of small blocks of frigates for fighter support, because they're cheap and you don't need a huge limit, is you keep all of your command limits low on all of your officers, and then the Cylons don't escalate. Apparently that's changed though, so we will but this is the first time I've played through a campaign for a while, and things have changed since I played it, for the better as well, I might add. So we need an officer for you, and you need to at least have a level up and a point cap of 5,000. So the other way that we could do this is we can find out who's got a cap of 5,000 that doesn't need it. You don't. You also don't, but you guys are both in command of my little, actually, no, you'd work. You would work, and yeah, okay. So we'll unassign this guy, and we will assign him. God, I hate this system. It scrolls one way, and then you use the mouse is inverted, but the scrolling. Is there a way to change that, actually? Invert pitch, invert zoom. Mouse scrolls edge. No, that's not it. Just seems a strange way to do it. I wonder if there's anything on here. No. Okay, never mind. What we were doing, we were giving you this guy. What's he? Let's see. We were giving you this guy. So basically, at 4,000, we can't get 3 Artemises into a group. But with this officer at 5,000, providing we assign him to the right one, this one here, yes. Now we can put all 3 of those Artemises into that. We now have an effective fighting force. Ah, I forgot about these ones. I've got an extra one. Are you close to a level up? Oh, you are due a level up. Perfect. Perfect. Not a fan of these. Yeah, let's just do him for now. Cool. So now that's up to 6,000. I think. No, it's still not enough. You need 7,000. Yeah, no worries, Kim. Not enough, not enough. He does, though. Would be nice to send a flotilla of 4 Artemises out. I could do it. You know what? 3's enough. 3's too much. Yeah, it was a bit of a wasted level up then. I mean, what else would we have spent on though? Okay. Well, they don't need nav. Right. Who else? Who else? You need a 5,000er. It's always worth us. So another reason why I do what I do as well. 5 of them, or I think 6 of the Berserkers, you can get under 4,000. What you can then do is train officers with those fleets, leveling up the officer and the fleet. The fleet then gets really good. You can then trade out the officer for a freshie, and the fleet is still good, and the officer won't have as many skills, but you can still level them up that way. That one's too big though. How many? Oh, you haven't even got a fucking commander anymore. So this is one of the ones that we want to be training somebody up, and I want another. Have I got unassigned? We've got him. Do want more tech bay ones. What else have we got? Actually, I do want more hangers. And he's got glasses too, look at that. Oh, they both got glasses. I also wanted another engineer. Engineer ones just specialise in damage reduction. Actually, no, I know exactly what I wanted. I wanted to do that. At the moment, I have an officer that can increase posture range, so it can make posture range massive, which can then make the Daedalus, the Daedalus range, the radar range, huge. There's one thing in the game that has a higher base radar range than the scout crafts, and that's the Daedalus. So it's a fucking huge space station. And although it is my shipyard, it can still be attacked, so we still need to defend it. I've got quite the flotilla to defend it, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That can be made up into one of my ranging squadrons, which I'll need another tech officer for. So I will grab... I need to grab you, and I need to grab you. This is all costing me requisition points, but we've got fucking more than I know what to do with now. So, you know those Minotaurs that we were playing with? I've literally just unlocked those for purchase. I completely forgot about them, and I would like to try a... no, I haven't unlocked them, tell a lie. Got the blueprints for them. Oh, and I can get the Janus as well, which is like, yeah, huge armor, massive amounts of missile systems. Not great on the old turrets. Green strength firewall regen. Yeah, and they're obviously quite expensive as well. Let's go with Minotaurs first. Now, the Minotaurs that we used in the Anabasis mode were good, These ones can benefit from the officer skills and veterancy, which will, as you can see, give increased turret accuracy and more turn, which means that they can bring their guns to bear better. So I want to build a stack of those and go and experiment with them for a bit as well. 1, 2, 3. So you can only build 3 things at a time with this, regardless, and then they cost how many ever turns they cost. You can rush them straight out, but it'll cost you like 3 or 4 times the amount, and it is not worth doing. It isn't a bad shout to rush things when they've only got 1 turn left, but you know, you're paying extra money for convenience. We're not in a state of play where I need to rush. Let us send...
Tauron armed forces have tried to run a sabotage.
What I have been told now is that these missions,
from what I can gather,
the random encounters, these ones,
sideways.
They will scale.
I don't know how many of their
I don't know off of what. I think it's just game progress. But these scale now off of your highest fleet, apparently, which is something that I want to test. It's not 1. What are you doing there? You can jump for free. All these are inhabited. That one. Cool, right. You've got a free jump, so go there. No, you stay. Stay. Yeah, you can go there. Start bringing more fleets across to this one. And I'd like to do this one soon as well. Yeah, you can jump for free as well, so you do that one. Cool. Right, we'll do this turn, and then I will go and have a look at the cooperative side of things. The other thing to note as well, when it comes to doing repairs, so these are the ones that we took damage on from that mission that we just did, where I got penned in and had to keep my flak wall up continuously. There are several kinds of repair costs. Colony repair costs, the more this is, the better, I think it was. I haven't got anything to compare it with. But as a general rule, you want to be either repairing in situ with the Daedalus for the best repair, so the cheapest repair, you get the most for the least. Then it's occupied colonies, i.e. colonies that have a population. Then it's colonies that don't have a population, and it is very expensive to repair in these transit nodes, so you want to avoid repairing there. So this, which one was it? This one is a good place to repair, because they actually took a fair whooping. And that's only 64, so it's not much. But that can be like 5 times that cost if you did it here. So, you're going there. Yep. Cool. And then we might have some battles as well. We save at the end, just before the end of the term. Good.
Detected a base star group, sir.
Base star group.
A fortified colony is under attack.
Cool. Right. Now you'll get to see a different tactic. So this is one of my get them in range before they get in range of us, and then take out all the things that take advantage of knowing where we are, and then clean up the rest. And again, all of these tactics work at the base level. You don't need this much either, but we kind of do for the amounts that we're going up against. The other thing to note as well, part of the reason why I save at the end of every turn is it's a good habit to be in. We're getting a lot of battles to do here. If we reloaded this, we might just get the 2 battles that we've got and no Cylons come in. Basically, the turns are, there's an RNG to it as to where Cylons pop up and so on. So basically, if you'd saved it and you ended a turn and you got fucking 100 battles to do and they're really out of your favor, reload, end the turn again, see what happens. Save scum. It's fine to save scum when you're learning. You can't save scum when you're live streaming though, apparently. So, because we have set the Corvette as our flagship, and it's actually the cheapest ship. This is a change that came in after I stopped, or just as I stopped playing this a couple of years back. We can put our commander on the ship that has the best Dratus. She has +5 to her tech bay, which increases her Dratus range, and then she gets another +40% Dratus range on that, which means that no longer will the Cylons be out-Dratusing or out-radaring us. No, we shall be out-radaring them. And then we combine that with the fact that these things have huge stockpiles of missiles, and lots of them, and they can fire them off quite rapidly. They can fire off their guided missiles once every other turn, or you can stagger them, but I just fire them all together because why stagger them when you don't have to. The other thing as well is, as the game advances, you get more things that you can bring. So I only use guided missiles. Why? Because they're free. Torpedoes will cost us, and as we fire them, they'll cost us. Mines will cost us. Debris mines will cost. All of these things cost us, whereas guided missiles are free. Again, out economy, the strategy layer. You can make the tactical layer easy because you'll always be able to bring what you want and bring to bear what you need. So we don't want to start too close because we want to make them and not get made ourselves. Off we go. So not only does she give +5 to the tech bay, but she can also shift the posture to +6, +5. So even a commander that doesn't have any CNC skills, as you level them up, they can increase their posture range to up to +2. The one that is a specific CIC commander, that's the one that I had on my Daedalus, he can increase that posture range even further. You can get it +10 swinging, which is silly. So we'll put it to +5, and then you'll see quite how far our Dratus is. We can detect vessels out to just over 14,000 clicks, I think that is. I've started to use this now, but what I used to check, because I don't remember that being in the game previously, was this. So even at normal, we still outrange their longest range radar ship, even when it's completely overclocked. At attack, we're about the same. At full attack, we're about the same. So we want it all the way over here. 150% on that, plus the 40%, plus the +5 for the tech bay. And what that means is, from spawn, we can almost detect them. So giving it one of those and turning should have their entire fleet made. And then we run. Are you seeing a pattern? So that detects them all. There's actually there's one threat there, this one. So these are the crastuses. That's the word that I was looking for. I always call them cestices, like the knuckles. That's what they remind me of, and I've obviously quick read that in the past and kept it as cestices. The only problem that we've got here is we have no fighter support and they have fighters. Thankfully, Rangers are actually quite good at taking fighters out, and there's a little trick that we can do with our Manticore as well, which I am a big fan of. But it doesn't matter if the fighters get close enough to us to make us, because we're going to have the thing that could make use of that destroyed. Now we're going to delete that. So that is 8 racks of missiles being fired. Also got to be careful here. We don't shoot our own guy. We'll boost to try and get in range of these. And then let them rip off the chain. Again, there's no point. Actually, these have an increased munition size, don't they? It's their veterancy. Plus 10 max munitions. So if we put them up to attack 5, we are limited in the amount of missiles. So they're currently firing 4. We've got them on... But basically been waiting for this upgrade. 140%. So basically, at 100%, they'll fire 4. At up... Then when they pass 125%, they'll fire 5 at a time. So that's what we want to be doing. But for now, we run! And so that's 1 salvo fired. That'll be enough to down that, I would imagine. And that is their only chance, other than the fighters, of making us. And it's also the only thing that they can actually do anything with. It's the only thing out of all of these that have any kind of missiles that require a lock. So we deal with that first. Oh, I always forget I've got missiles on this as well. We'll fire them next turn in unison with this. Keep moving, though.
Yes, sir.
To be on level with those fighters, so start bringing that down. Put that down. Bye-bye. So that's the only thing that could benefit from having identifying us. Now that we've cracked the shell, we cracked the nuts inside. So next we want to be going for the next closest thing, which is going to be these, because these can actually hurt. We want to boost that up to there, and let's fire a salvo with these guys Commander. As well. I don't think it matters with them. They can fire on normal, because they haven't got a salvo size. Cool. You'll see these things here as well. This is a campaign feature. It's only 3 levels, which is a bit crap, and it's never going to change now unless people mod. Please mod. You're going to get 3 levels of veterancy, and then they add little spicy things to the ship and just make it be a little bit better at what it's already good at doing, which is nice. That veterancy has allowed me to do things in this game that I wouldn't normally consider with ships, that I would normally consider crap. But then adding a few extra stats to them and then putting officers on top of that as well can make things that don't work particularly well work great, and then make things that work great work really good. Right, let's boost away. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to try and get them interested in our Manticore. I think this one's going for the Rangers. We slow this one down and give them a chance to catch, they might change target. We shall see. And a lot of ships, as you fire huge salvos off, will bear away in an attempt to rotate their hull around to not die and spread the damage across multiple sections. So at worst case scenario, it throws them right to the back line, which means they're going to be ages getting to us again. Best case scenario, it destroys them, and more often than not it will. The only problem that we have here is running out of fucking missiles, but I don't think they've got that much. Now they are getting a little close, so we'll do a normal salvo. We're going to have to turn and fight in a minute if these guys really breathing down my neck. Actually, I should have been boosting before this. Yeah, so he's not even down. His engine, oh no, his fire control took that haste in though. So this guy's veering off now as well. And we boost. there. We're probably going to have to turn and shoot sooner than I wanted to. I wanted to be as far away from this noise as possible before I engage the fighters. But as long as we're doing plenty of damage to everything, it's all good. And I think that one, I don't know why he bared away, but he did. So, time to turn and fight. What are you going after? So what we're going to do is we're going to put you...
Yes, Commander.
There. We're going to give you an attack stance so that you're in range with your turrets and highly accurate. Focus you on that one. These guys, we are going to... Yeah, that way. And we'll put them on the attack. Actually, no. Normal order for now, and then we'll turn them to attack.
So say we all.
Focus on this. Yes. You fire yours at that one in an attempt to finish it off. And cool. Now, even if they get close enough to make us, or even shoot us, shouldn't matter too much. Go swinging the guns around. Now we change these to aggressive.
So say we all.
See me sliding the... I love the sliding through space on this, it's so good. But you've seen me sliding the battle stars away so I can keep firing whilst moving further. And that's not just to keep space between me and the fighters to do more damage to them before they get to us. It also makes space between their support elements. We're at that, and we've got another missile salvo to go off, so let's fire one at him because he's the next closest. And then that should shred that squadron. We've come too wide. No, well, can't be helped. I want to keep moving
so
here.
Say we all.
So, because as good as
Commander.
Rangers are, they're not amazing armor-wise. So let's do that. What are you chasing? Oh, you are chasing those. Okay. Keep doing that. Focus on... Listen. You guys focus on Batten. They'll get some shots off. They'll take some damage here as well. The missiles are away though, so that stops them getting support too much. And every single little explosion you see there is dropping the amount of DPS that these things do. Not that they do a massive amount, but in huge waves they can. Being outmaneuvered by these fighters here, bastards.
On it,
He's
Commander.
putting work in as well. On aggressive and with the turret accuracy bonus, he is very high accuracy, very high rate of fire, and there's 2 guns on the back of that. But it's
So
getting the angle right. You don't want to be too low. We're probably a bit low there, and he's a bit close. So let's go.
Yes, Commander.
There. Then let's try not to cross in front. Oh, that's all we can do. But we can fire some more missiles off. Oh, that one's at it. Good. You go there, and are you ready to fire again? Nope. Cool. So if this was a fleet that was composed of even more fighters, we would get really far out and draw them all into a line and then do this thing. one of the things that I was hoping to do, but they didn't take the bait this time. You can play it specifically so that it it involves just putting your Manticore out further, is get the fighters to go after your Manticore, and then as the Manticore's running away, you run your Rangers in parallel with their fighters here. They will chase the Manticore to death, and then your Rangers can keep track with it and just blast everything and anything that follows, and do a really good job of it usually. However, they're being absolutely fucking schooled by these fucking raiders. I can't get the turning circle, bastard. Tell you what, this might work. Boost away. Again, never boost when you're being engaged. He does it again. Let's fire those off at... Oh, is it just you left?
Yes,
cool.
Commander.
Fire them off at him then. This isn't doing anywhere near as much damage. Because I think he's still too... Oh, those guys might be in the way now, that's why. There is a real risk of friendly fire as well. This is another reason why I stack. They're all stacked on top of each other, and they fire the missiles out the side like 90% of the ships do in this. You'll never hit each other. And you have these intricate formations that are all flying quite tight. A lot of the time you'll end up firing missiles and hitting each other, and it's very annoying. Oh, you're going back for repairs, are you? Good. So he's had enough. Squadrons never used to do this. He's had enough though. He's like, right, I'm going back. Go back to the Talon. Basically doing what I do. Doing what I do. The problem is, as he lands, the ship's going to blow up. I mean, he doesn't know this yet. Ignorance is bliss. Or so they say. I do love this as well. Look at all that. Not many games would keep the space debris from the battle. And, like, the field can get absolutely choked in huge battles, which is something that I do want to do. I've never really had much of an interest in doing just skirmishes. I like the campaign. But I love the battle system enough to see about doing a huge battle and seeing what my PC can take and so on. The fleet cap is, I think it's just based on points, and you can have as many ships as you can fit. But it's a cap of 16,000. I think it was. Never tried that. Probably didn't have a powerful enough PC to try that previously either. Now I do. Right, you fired. Keep moving. This salvo, if it hits the front or the top, might it's going to hit the top. Might decimate them. Bye. Oh, did you fight us land? I didn't even see. We're back home! Perfect. Almost like it was planned. And then we'll give them the full aggressive stance.
On it, Commander.
They are getting a little close for comfort, but I'd imagine we'll be able to get at least 2 salvos off. The other things with the Talons as well, they're mainly a transport craft, but they do have some fucking nasty amounts of guns on the spine and on the sides. They have nothing at the front, so they have to come to broadside to really even start attacking you. And a lot of the time you find, especially if you've got something that can put on a bit of pace at a moment's notice, they'll turn to engage and then be like, oh, he's out of range now, and then they have to turn back to come after you, which is always fun. Always fun to fuck the Cylons about. You might as well fire yours as well. But there's also the element of him trying to present his more armoured parts, but we're above them, so they're only going to the top. The top is a great place to attack on these as well because it destroys their fire control. But engineering, as with most ships, most carriers, is underneath. Hey, what? PC's getting a bit warm. And again, as long as you have the officer with that dangerous at plus 40%, and you can get, you start off with +1 tech, and then you can have that 40% dangerous, I think, as your either first or second skill. As soon as you get that, you can do the same with just like a whole wing, a whole 7 of manticores, because each of them has a missile tube. And so early doors, you'll see that I have some fleets that used to do that. I do like watching these replays. I don't watch the replays enough. I always want to get more done in the campaign. But streaming, it's about the spectacle, apparently. I mean, this one's going to be, I don't know. I think it always does a really good job of making things interesting. Even though we just basically saw them and ran away and fired. But, yeah, watching... watching my Rangers get absolutely schooled by those Cylon fighters in a minute's going to be quite good. Oh, sorry, Dread. I'm always on a long time. Look, I stream on Monday, well, Thursdays and soon Mondays. 6 till 10, ish. I always start earlier because I think, oh, well, it'll be at least a 4-hour live stream, some flat screening. It's like, VR is a little bit more intensive when you're doing live streaming, you know, it's a bit of strain everywhere, you're standing up as well. It's that I could stream a fucking day playing games like this. Maybe I should. I've been playing an awful lot of Battlestar Glactic. I fucking love this game so much. It's so good. Yeah. Very easy. Very easy. Like little things like I can just go to the toilet without having to feel like I have to fucking derobe. In fact, I'm going to do that now. Back. Derobe.
Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual controls now.
Did I miss the bit where the Rangers got schooled by the fighters? I feel like I missed that. Hang on, sorry. I'll let it play out. I'll go back. Harmonica. Nice. In fact, if you can play harmonica, Dread, I might need you to play me a ditty. A little ditty. Right here, I can do that, and I can... Where was it? It's... Oh, I fucked it. I can control... Even, like, you know, if there was a lot of action on a specific thing, I can do that, and then I can do that. And I can control it. It's not as... It either goes too fast or a bit juddery for me when I'm doing that. So, good old auto cam. I see no difference between half resolution and full resolution. Well, you'll see it closer. The level of detail on some of these ships is fucking awesome. But look at that, you can see the individual paneling. Oh, here come the fighters. Hang on, I just want to watch this bit. Yeah, look, here's the squadron. Oh no, it isn't this squadron, it's the other one. Gave my Rangers the absolute fucking run around. Yeah, these
Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual control now.
I mean, they kind of get me run around. Some fail mode harmonicas. Interesting. As performed by Dread. I don't know what the... I think... Is that bagpipes? I always thought it was bagpipes, but I don't think it is bagpipes. Maybe. This music's easily one of the best tracks. Easily. Anyway, right, on. I've got some more fights to do and then we'll call it a night. Good. This is bagpipes. Various ideas, whether I'll ever get round to it or not. The little harmonica ditty that he does in Crystal Maze. It's like... I mean, I'm sure I could buy a harmonica and I'm sure I could fucking muddle through it, but... Yeah. I want that for something
fortified colony is under attack.
Doing with Dungeons of Eternity. So no, we did a battle, we save. What's this one now? So, equal point battle. Interesting. Although we have a very good commander who has a plus to his engineering subsystem, which makes an already hardy ship even hardier. And then I've got some upgrades, some veterancy on them, so they're even hardier again. But fighter squadrons are a thing in this game, I hear. This one, because we won't take anywhere near as much damage because all of the damage reduction we've got on, I'm a little bit more willing to do a stand-up firefight because it isn't going to cost us the earth to repair it. But I say things like that and then it all goes horribly wrong, so I should really start off with my fighter tactics and then make it. Fight. Yeah, so as you can see here, so supply costs, how much it costs me to restock my bays full of fighters. I worked out quite early on that if you repair your fighters in the battle, you don't have to pay the supply. Like, so if I lost a squadron, it would cost me, I think it's 24 to replace it because of a bonus that I have with the Daedalus at the moment because of the planet that it's parked by. And... because it reduces supply cost by 40%. Again, nickel and diming. And I worked out quite early that if I spend a few turns just letting my Vipers repair in the hangars, I then don't have to pay anywhere near as much or nothing in the campaign bit. Free money! Or not wasting it anyway. I wonder if this is a base star group. So again, we start as far away as possible, because I don't know what their composition is. I'll be happier to move in when I know what it is. We haven't actually seen a base star yet. I haven't seen a base star, well, I haven't seen a base star in either streams, and I haven't seen a base star in this campaign yet. We do have that. I would change it over, but I've already got it now, and it'll cost me... yeah, it'll cost me loads to restock, so we'll keep it like that. And again, all of these things, there's so many things in this game, and now that I've come back to the game after a while, and there's more, and it's all the kinks have been ironed out from previous updates, because I played this game to
So say we all.
death when it was available, and I feel like I'm playing it to death
Launching
all over
fighters.
again. But it definitely feels like a more enjoyable experience than it was previously, because there's just been so many little quality of life. Like, I own this and all the DLC on PC and on Xbox as well, because I had it on Xbox originally and then got it all on PC on a deal, obviously. Train. No, it wasn't. So he goes, yeah, but it is Richard O'Brien. He goes, he just does that randomly every now and again. And if I do what I was planning on doing, which is basically Dungeons of Eternity, but in Crystal Maze, but in the Dungeons of Eternity, and like do a bit of a game show of it, it's just an idea. It'll probably never happen because it'll require sponsorship and a lot of fucking effort on my part. And I mean, I like Dungeons of Eternity, but I can't do something like that for free. It's going to eat all of my time alive. So, but if you did compete and whether you won or lost, you would get a gem saying, I cracked the Dungeons of Eternity. I've gone as far as like planning out all the games and stuff. There's loads more that I can add to it, I'm sure. Right, we have a lot of fighter support coming in, and this is an equal points fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got two ways we can play the fighter game. We can go low or we can go high. We're already a lot higher than they are. So let's go higher again and see what they do. I want to see what they're bringing to this fight. I should be able to work it out based on how they fly. I mean, I said that last time and I got it completely fucking wrong. It used to be like that. And this is why we up and down and zigzag. Because they got torps. And we should be out of the way of them. Right. I would wager... Well, I know that all of these, because they're now angling up towards my fighters, are all fighters. With a points value like that, I reckon they've got some... Cestises. Let's have a look at the angle here. So they're coming in and they're spreading left. If we go here...
So say we all.
We can probably get away with that. If they're going for the top one of our formation, just ducking down will be enough. But I think... difficult to sight them. I think they're going for the lowest one. So we'd actually be better off going higher. I'd always, in these situations, especially with slower craft, I'd always want to do what I'd consider like a double dodge. So getting out of the way of them and being off of their elevation as well, just to fucking make sure. Watch me still get hit now, though.
Understood.
Right, I don't think we have anything to fear from you. Although these guys will be a lot squishier. Because the Artemis... doesn't have anywhere near as good a Squadron Evade Fighter Bay chance as those Berserks had.
Fighter squadron is taking fire.
Yeah, they're angling. Now we're away. Oh, maybe
Missiles
not from the
incoming.
second batch. Move that ass. Move.
Hostile unit identified.
Haircut. We're still...
Yes, sir.
Still might get hit there. But if we do... all get off of boost. And turn your ass. It might work. I think we're going to take some hits there, but we'll be okay. Right, what are we dealing with? This is dangerous. That's incredibly dangerous. So this is why I didn't want to be fighting here. Because these will support the fighters, and as we can see, they're already doing damage to one of my squadrons. Now, what I have found with these is the best bet with the squadron that's being damaged is to get it the fuck out of there. And then what will most likely happen is these squadrons will chase that one, knowing it's the weakest, and then we can mow them all down as we please. Let's paint you. Let's fire some missiles at you.
Missiles on their way.
And let's also fire some missiles at you. I think it's going to hit. We might slip it. You never know. Oh! One hit. Will she survive?
Squadron
Nope.
has gone dark.
They're gone. But it's lured them away enough, and we've then drawn the fight away from their crestices. Crestices. I like cestices though, they're fucking awesome. It's drawn the fight away, the mothball away from their crestices, which stops them supporting their fighters. If they have these fighting into this swirl, they could win this engagement, or at least do me a lot of damage. We don't want that. Which ones are you going after? You're going after them, then you're going after them. Let's kill them quicker then. You need to be moving. It's much harder to dogleg through the galaxy with these. How much damage did they take? Oh, look at that. Fucking nothing. Damage reduction. So the other benefit that this guy's got with a high engineering addition to the subsystem, and also that posture range as well, is all of the ships within his fleet will repair our ships a lot faster, which just means we don't have to fuck about. Very rarely have I had to... Very rarely have I had to repair ships mid-combat and they relaunch them to win a fight. The fight's already won by that point. So...
Turkey right 5, lower 6. I'm committed.
Now, the other thing with these crestices is that... No, it's not crestices, is it? Ceristices. What fucking name? The other thing with them as well is all of their weaponry is forward and down facing. They have nothing on top and nothing behind. So as long as we're out of their front firing arc, they're not a threat to our fighters. So we start from the back. I will fire some cheeky missiles at... no, they'll get out of range. Never mind. Paint this guy so we destroy his squadron quicker. He's already dead anyway. And are we firing more missiles? Not yet. Then we dogleg back the other way. They fire their torpedoes based on where you were moving last. So if you snake, they fire to here where they thought we were moving. Oh yeah, missiles. Yeah, that was a pretty good shot, to be fair. So what we're going to do in this circumstance, we're going to play it a bit safe, because I don't think I can dodge that.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go flak, left-hand side, and then pull about in normal mode. And we'll triple the redundancy and try and duck them as well. You know what? The duck will be enough, but let's not take any chances. Don't like having to pay for armor. You need to go because... Oh, no, you've got torpedoes. Okay. They're not a priority, but I'd like to destroy them.
Squadron target is confirmed.
Oof, good job I did put the flak field up. Fuck. Still took it. And boost away! You can keep your flak field firing when you boost. It's not very good though. It's like minute. In fact, I haven't done that for a while. Let's have a look and see what they've improved it. I mean, they shouldn't do. It should be small. Right, let's fire some torps in. There's some missiles at you because you're in range. And let's paint you. Painting just increases the accuracy of a squadron. It does work for these as well. It results in you bringing things down quicker. Yeah, that's not bad. Still some coverage, but there's gaps in that something could get through. But it doesn't cost you anything to have that up and running as you're turning whilst boosting, so not a bad shout. Not like drawing power away from any other systems. Right, can you fucking hurry this along? I don't want to dodge any more fucking torpedoes. Thank you very much. We're gonna have to turn and fight. Awful close. Yep, they're close enough. Ooh, are they veterans? No. Some silly range they've got. So we will have taken, yeah, a little bit. The weaponry that they have is not particularly great against capital ships, but it's fired in such fucking volume.
On it, Commander.
Focus fire. This one, fire munition. This one. Right, these guys should be able to deal with this. We might struggle with all 4 of those, so let's get our fighter group doing something instructive. The other thing to note as well, we'll start seeing, or I'll start seeing in this campaign, more of this Cylon Elite. So they then have upgrades and a fully upgraded crew, which can make their... Yeah, it can turn the game on its head a little bit. All of a sudden, things that you could dodge out of the way with fighters, or, you know, things that weren't particularly powerful, absolutely fucking wreck you. Yeah. It's gonna be a stand-up fight now, I think. Yeah, we're being... Oh, that's not too bad. I have got loads of damage reduction on this guy, so that's good. You should be done. How are you not done? So one of the problems with this stacking is because they're above me, only some of these are firing. There is something that we could do about that, but I'd rather maintain this formation for now. I could stagger them a little bit so that more of that Battlestar artillery is brought to bear. But keep moving. I haven't got time to fuck about yet. I haven't got time, he says. Because at the moment we are looking at even fight. Yeah, so we're taking casualties here, and it's from this, I think. You are reckoning it's fire control.
Squadron target is confirmed.
This isn't great because we're really high.
Yes, sir.
We need to bleed some of this altitude because we've got these to deal with next, and this thing also. And we also want to try and put some distance between them and us. What's that looking like? Okay, it's starting to get a bit shot up.
On it, Commander.
So let's bleed that height and turn to present the other bit of armor plating, the other side of armor. guys keep doing what you're doing. Take that lead one out.
We're gonna hammer the fractors so they can't get back up.
I'm hit for fucking bobbins.
Understood.
Yeah, I was going to tell you actually to do that. Good job. You keep on painting that. You keep on taking that. Right. Should happen is as we're sliding around here, we should bring all guns to bear on them, which would be nice. One. And then fire munitions at that fucker. Now, these guys' fire control systems are on the top, which is good. If I can reduce their fire rate, that's good news for us.
On it, Commander.
This side now. Side. Yep, that's good. Too high.
Target is 3-4 by 6-2.
And yes, I know I could split them and make use of my spine cannons, but
Understood.
we're not low enough to even bother warrant doing that yet. We might as well keep a tight formation. The other benefit of keeping a tight formation like this as well is when we launch our missiles, they're all going to hit the same sort of place, which then means that we don't have to go through multiple layers of armor on multiple sides. Like, those should kill it. Good. Well, almost good. Haven't dealt any damage yet, but we are starting to run out of armor. And then normally, I would really like to send all of these guys back for repairs, but we're not going to get a chance to. And for me, this is part of the reason why I think the Adamants and the Berserkers potentially better, especially in the early game when you have I'm not having to nickel and dime money anywhere near as much as I needed to in the beginning. So I can get away with things like this, taking a bit of damage and having to replace and repair squadrons. But with the... if I had a flight full of Adamants or even Berserkers full of fighter groups, I could have destroyed all this and they would have got nowhere near me, so no damage, and I would have had time to return them and repair them as well. So not only could I have done it with a cheaper fleet, but it also would have cost me less. Oh, I should have replayed that. That would have been quite good. How many have I got left? What is that? More Artemises. Yeah, I'll finish that. Save. Good. Cool. Right, yeah, so that was a little overview of how my little Fleet Admiral difficulty campaign is going. I'm pretty confident that I've got everything locked down now. It's just a case of doing the missions, unlocking the stuff, which is only going to get my fleet better, upgrading everything. As far as money is concerned, I've already won. The game has been strangleholded and out-economied, so unless they've done anything majors in the endgame, and I'm talking like 6 times the fleets of what I'm used to dealing with, we should be alright. And on that bombshell, we shall indeed end it there. This has once again been Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, running natively on my PC. I have been Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.